What if I told you that the man who gave us the electricity that powers our world died alone, penniless, and forgotten? This is the heartbreaking story of Nikola Tesla, a genius who dreamed of free energy for all, but was betrayed, ignored, and overshadowed. Join us as we uncover why one of history's greatest minds never lived to see the future he created. Welcome to Legacy Narratives, where every story is a journey through history, wisdom, and memories worth remembering. Why Nikola Tesla died. Poor. Despite inventing the future. Of all the haunting images from the annals of invention, few are as poignant as that of Nikola Tesla, the man who gave the world its electrical heartbeat. Dying alone and penniless in room 3327 of the New Yorker Hotel on January 7, 1943. At the time of his death, his only companions were the pigeons he fed in the park and the unrealized visions of a world powered by limitless, free energy. The obituaries recognized him as a giant, the architect of the modern electrical age, yet his estate was essentially worthless. How could the genius whose patents form the bedrock of our technological civilization, the creator of the AC motor, the master of alternating current, the prophet of radio and wireless communication, end his life in such profound destitution? The answer is not a single failure, but a tragic symphony of personal obsession, disastrous business decisions, a fundamental mismatch with the capitalist world, and the sheer, staggering scale of a vision that outpaced his time. The grand betrayal, the royalty that would have been. To understand Tesla's poverty, one must first understand the fortune he willingly walked away from. In 1888, after being swindled by Edison, Tesla secured the patents for his revolutionary polyphase AC system. Industrialist George Westinghouse, a visionary in his own right, recognized their world-changing potential and licensed them. The deal was spectacular. $60,000 in cash and stock up front, plus a staggering royalty of $2.50 per horsepower of electrical capacity sold. This was not merely a good deal, it was a guarantee of generational wealth. As the war of currents raged and Westinghouse, using Tesla's technology, won the contracts to light the Chicago World's Fair and harness Niagara Falls, the royalty clause became a ticking time bomb for the Westinghouse Electric Corporation. The Panic of 1890 had strained the company's finances, and the mounting royalty obligations to Tesla threatened to bankrupt it. Confronted by a desperate Westinghouse, Tesla faced a monumental choice. He could hold his partner to the contract, potentially driving the company under and ensuring his AC system might never reach its full potential, or he could relinquish his claim. In a gesture of almost mythological nobility and faith in his invention's destiny, Tesla took the contract and tore it up. He accepted a one-time payment of $216,000 for the outright, perpetual sale of his patents. This single act, born of idealism and a desire to see his brainchild thrive, cost Nikola Tesla hundreds of millions of dollars in today's terms. Every time an AC motor hummed to life in a factory, every time a city grid was powered up, every watt of electricity sold for the next century would generate revenue for someone else. He had sold the keys to the kingdom to ensure the kingdom was built. The mismatch of mind and market, a terrible businessman. Tesla's renunciation of the royalties was emblematic of a broader character trait. He was an inventor, not a businessman. His mind operated in the realm of ideas, principles, and future possibilities, not balance sheets and market strategies. Selling the dream, not the product. Tesla would secure funding based on the grandeur of a final vision, wireless global communication, free energy for all, rather than a practical, step-by-step business plan. He was a master showman who could mesmerize investors like J.P. Morgan with demonstrations of wireless lighting or robotic boats, but he struggled to deliver a commercial product on a schedule. Investors grew wary of funding his ever-expanding, ethereal dreams. The peril of perfectionism. While competitors like Marconi were pragmatically building and improving upon existing technology, often using Tesla's own patents, to create marketable radio systems, Tesla was often obsessed with achieving a flawless, grander system. He didn't just want to transmit signals, he wanted to transmit power globally, without wires. This pursuit of the ultimate solution meant he was often beaten to the market by less brilliant but more commercially agile rivals. A naivete in negotiation. He trusted the word and intentions of wealthy benefactors, often to his detriment. He believed they shared his passion for advancing humanity, while they were primarily interested in profit. This left him vulnerable to exploitation, and without the robust legal and financial protections a more savvy individual would have insisted upon. The all-consuming vision, Wardenclyffe and the ruin of reputation. The apex of both Tesla's ambition and his financial downfall was the Wardenclyffe Tower project on Long Island. Convinced he could provide wireless communication across the Atlantic and, in his grander dreams, transmit electrical power anywhere on the planet without wires, Tesla poured his own money and a massive $150,000 investment from J.P. Morgan into the project. For Morgan, this was an investment in a wireless telegraphy system to compete with Marconi. For Tesla, it was the first step toward a world energy system. When Morgan discovered the true, vast, and, to his mind, ludicrously unprofitable scope of Tesla's plan, he withdrew further funding immediately. The year was 1904, and Tesla was ruined. He spent the next decade in a futile struggle to find new backers, pouring his remaining resources into keeping the project alive. The 187-foot tower dominated the skyline, a monstrous monument to his bankrupted dreams. It was ultimately demolished for scrap in 1917 to pay his debts. Wardenclyffe was more than a financial failure. It was a very public collapse that branded Tesla in the eyes of the establishment as a brilliant but impractical dreamer, a mad scientist who could no longer be taken seriously by serious money. The psychological torment, the price of a singular mind. Tesla's financial decline cannot be separated from his psychological makeup. He was a man of extreme routines, crippling phobias, like a revulsion for pearls and germs, and a compulsive nature that bordered on the pathological. The tyranny of thought. Tesla claimed he never needed to build prototypes. He designed and tested every invention in the hyper-realistic workshop of his mind. While this was a source of his genius, it also isolated him. He didn't need a team. He lived inside his own head. This intellectual solitude made him ill-suited for the collaborative corporate world of 20th century industrial science. The breakdown of focus. In his later years, as funding dried up and recognition faded, Tesla's ideas became increasingly speculative and detached from commercial reality. He spoke of particle beam, death rays, teleforce weapons, thought cameras that could photograph thoughts, and machines to trigger earthquakes. While some of these concepts have echoes in modern science, e.g., particle accelerators, they were presented in a way that further alienated the scientific and financial communities, who now dismissed him entirely. The crushing weight of obscurity. To see the world he had imagined, a world of wireless communication and global connectivity, being built by others who received the acclaim and patents, was a special kind of torment. He spent decades fighting patent battles. He eventually won the patent for the invention of radio, but only after Marconi had received the Nobel Prize, and watching his ideas be commercialized by others without credit or compensation. This bred a deep-seated resentment and a feeling of betrayal that consumed his later years. A legacy beyond wealth, the currency of ideas. Yet, to measure Tesla's life by his bank account is to miss the point entirely. He was not motivated by capital, he was motivated by creation. His currency was not dollars, but ideas. He lived to solve puzzles and to give his gifts to the world, often with a shocking disregard for personal gain. His poverty was, in a tragic sense, the price of his purity. He refused to compromise his visions to make them more palatable or profitable. Where Edison invented for the market, Tesla invented for the future. He wasn't building a better gadget. He was trying to fundamentally alter humanity's relationship with the physical universe. In the end, the world was not ready for a man like Nikola Tesla. It was ready for his inventions, which it eagerly adopted and built an entire civilization upon. But it was not ready to fund his boundless, altruistic dreams of free energy and global harmony. The system required monetization, and Tesla refused to put a meter on the sun. He died as he lived, a man out of time. His body was found by a maid, but his spirit had been occupied with realms far beyond the confines of a small hotel room. The AC current that flowed in the wires behind the walls of that hotel, powering the city that never slept, was his true, eternal legacy. It is a power that continues to drive human progress, a silent, everlasting testament to the man who gave us the future, even if he never could afford it for himself.
Thank you for joining us on this journey through history and inspiration. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more timeless stories. We'd love to hear your thoughts. What part of today's story touched you the most? Please leave a comment below. Until next time, keep the legacy alive.